Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy OG Black. Smash, like, subscribe, hit that little OG button on the bottom. Don't forget my Patreon, my PayPal, my Cash App is up and running like always. I've been missing for a while. A lot of people have been asking, hey, where'd OG Black go? What happened to OG Black? Nothing's happened to OG Black. I'm taking a step back, looking at the whole YouTube community, looking at everything that's happening in YouTube, looking at all these channels, at all these guys, and everything that's happening. Um, we were thinking about getting a podcast going for you. We've been running for some trouble in the podcast. The reason why is that trying to get a podcast and an app for it's not as easy as it looks. They don't want to allow shows like myself or other shows to get a podcast. Um, today I thought it being Friday, I'd bring you a good video or some knowledge, as I tell people, about someone that a lot of these young kids idolize. Growing up, a lot of people in the business that I've been idolize this man. Don Mayos is someone who I rarely speak about. Someone that I really didn't even say his name before. If you watch any of my videos, I was told not to really say his name before. It is what it is, guys. This man's been in business for over 50 years. And people are like, how can you be in business over 50 years? He's just hit the 50-year mark, guys. Don Mayos been working since he was a kid. A lot of people take credit away from him. They take the credit from him that he never really worked as much as other nauticals. And as a matter of fact, he started off really young in his career. Um, and a lot of people don't understand the power that this man has. And I'm going to bring you guys in on an update and teach you guys a little bit about the power that this man has that I believe nobody's ever talked about. The man that gave Don Mayo his first hand in the business is a man by the name Nico Vasquez or Chris Nico Vasquez. And people are like, who is that man? Well, that man is Mayo Zambada's brother-in-law. Now, Chris Vasquez Nico, or Nico Vasquez, married Mayo Zambada's sister. It is his brother-in-law by blood, by marriage, and he taught Mayo the whole business. Now, Chris Nico Vasquez is a Cuban national. At one time, he was part of Fidel Castro's military, and he was part of his army. I believe he was a captain or a lieutenant in Fidel Castro's regime. A lot of people don't know that this Cuban national ended up making his way to Nicaragua. And if any of you guys know, I'll give you a brief history. The United States of America and the Contra, they were sending cocaine with Pablo Escobar and all that to fund the war in Nicaragua. Now, a lot of people say and speculate, because there's no proof of it, that Chris Nico Vasquez is where he made his first CIA government contacts. Now, him having those contacts later on, he ended up moving to the United States of America and getting a Puerto Rican passport saying that he was Puerto Rican. There in the United States of America, he became one of the most powerful drug dealers in history that no one talks about because he had the funding of the government. So he's buying cocaine loads from Florida, from California, from Louisiana, the top ports, even Chicago. Chicago was in the top port back then. Remember that, guys. It was Louisiana, California, Florida, and we had New York. Chicago was too inland and you couldn't get to the ports that way. So the cartels weren't as linked up as you thought they were back then, but Chicago was one port that they did not go to. Now, Chris Vasquez Nico ended up going to Sinaloa, where he became a Mexican national, so people don't know. Another weird coincidence, he went from a Cuban national, Nicaraguan national, to an American national, and now to a Mexican national. Those are 4 nationalities, guys. And if you know anything about getting your papers or becoming a citizen of in any country, that is a lot of amount of work, that is a lot of amount of time, that is a lot of amount of money. But Mr. Vasquez, or Nico as he was known to his family, was able to have it done like that. And shout outs to his government connections, because without those things wouldn't be possible. Now, Mr. Vasquez ended up going to Sinaloa and being a big time trafficker. There he ended up dating Mayo Zambada's sister, and this is where Mayo Zambada and him connected. Later on in the early 80s, 90s, Mayo ended up going to the U.S. A lot of people don't understand that. Don Mayo lived in the U.S. He lived in Los Angeles, as a matter of fact. He lived there a couple years, made some real good money, and understand how the terrain works here in the United States of America. Now, that was a long time ago. Update Don Mecho, El Señor de los Gallos. He was in San Francisco about 15 years ago. He was in a state prison. He knows how the state prisons run here. He's more up to date, and that might be why he might be advancing a little faster in this war of the cartels. Now, a lot of people don't know that this man, Chris Nico Vasquez, is one of the most important figures in Don Mayo's whole life. He's the one that gave Don Mayo the connections with the United States government. A lot of people don't understand that Mr. Vasquez, or Nico Vasquez, had a very influential part with a lot of people, all the way from the presidents all the way down to secretaries of staff. The reason why is because Mr. Vasquez at that time, the United States of America, was very political. They were really upset with things that were going on in other countries, and they were willing to wave their eye at other things that are happening in these countries. You know, Chris Nico Vasquez was actually Don Mayo's leader, was actually Don Mayo's teacher, and his mentor. For a while, Chris Vasquez Nico was the connection from Sinaloa to the United States of America. Now, guys, there's not a lot known about Mr. Vasquez. The little bit you can find, you can Google it. I try not to give you information that Google gives. If not, I could have gave you guys a list of how old he was, how much he weighed, what's his name. Like other YouTubers start off like, hi, we're going to talk about Chris Vasquez, born 19. Now, you can look that up on Google yourself. I'm going to try to tell you guys stuff that Google doesn't want to tell you. Like the fact that Don Mayos' first introduction to the working with the government was with his brother-in-law, Chris Vasquez. Chris Vasquez had a unfountained tap of information and resources that Don Mayo never had. Working with the government, he learned that the U.S. was so powerful, and he learned that having the government on your side was probably the best thing in the world. You know, people ask me, how do I see the war? And I'll say it again, and I've said it before. At the end of all this, this war might come to an end in a year, 2 years, or it might be an ongoing war. But I'll tell you guys this much. At the end, I believe that it will be los menores, or los chapitos as they're known, and el señor de los gallos. They will be the two majoring factoring cartels that will be governing all of Mexico. All right, today's Friday, man. It's your boy OG Black. Smash, like, subscribe. I hope you guys like this. It's a story about Chris Vasquez and Don Mayo. I know you guys love Don Mayo. I know you guys love these stories, but I bet you there isn't a guy on YouTube who's come out with this story. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Smash, like, subscribe, and remember, if you want to Google Chris Vasquez or Nico Vasquez, go ahead and Google him. You can find out all the information about him: his age, his height, his weight, his birth color, his eye color. You know, if he's in the belly of the beast or whatever, guys. But I certainly don't regurgitate news, and I try not to give you guys Google news, as a matter of fact. I hope you guys enjoy this. It's your boy OG Black. Have a good Friday, and I'm out.